The hell? Hello? Hello in cryptocurrency land. You guys been sitting here? So if you guys have been sitting here, I'm just noticing the chat. I apologize. So YouTube's interface for setting up these meetings isn't very good. There's no save button or OK button, or doesn't tell you anything. I was looking at Twitter because it usually posts on Twitter when I do something, and it didn't. So I thought maybe you guys didn't get the invite. So I apologize about that. Sincerely apologize about that. I thought the invite didn't go out. I'm like, maybe I won't do the stream today. So I'm very sorry. I really didn't realize that the invitation did go out. YouTube should really work on that. You know what? Maybe I should add. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add myself. I'm going to go to my Real Stocks channel. I'm going to go ahead and add myself so I get these invitations, so I know when they go out. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's take a look at stuff. What's happening, guys? Okay, is this a capitulation you're looking for a couple of weeks ago? What's up, Real Crypto? All right. SEC Binance FUD, you got the invite. Sorry about that, Jesse. Capitulation you were looking for a couple of weeks ago. You have to be a little bit more specific. A couple of weeks ago, you're referring to like the 6,000 capitulation? I'm not sure what capitulation you're referring to. Now I'm forced to do the stream. You know what? A little forced, but that's fine. I don't mind. I like streaming. I actually really do. I did a 6 hour, was it 6 hours or 4 hours? I did it between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. my time, and then I woke back up at 4 a.m. The market was actually tanking. That was pretty fun. Okay, so is Bitcoin testing support? Oh, Bitcoin's always testing support when we're on the way down. There's lots of support to be had. Let's back out to the 2-hour chart and see what's going on here. Got some lines on my chart because I was actually doing some of my trading courses. So yeah, we did come back down and test this recent breakout of the 9,300 level. Should you worry or not? You should always worry when you see this kind of volume, to be quite frank with you. I put my videos out. I'm not sure how many of you ladies and gentlemen actually caught my 2 videos I posted. One was on psychology, one was on chart analysis. I made them before as one video, but it was super long, and since no one has patience, then yeah, I just split it up into 2 videos. But I didn't anticipate we would drop quite like this, quite so fast, quite so far. Will it rise again? You know what? I don't know, to be quite frank with you. I have a channel drawn on another platform. Let me show you the channel that I drew. This is my immediate test. Actually, it's different on here than it is on that other platform. So maybe it's already broken. But if I clone this, so this is the channel I'm looking at right now. Basically, I clone this bottom trend line, and then you can definitely, if we break up out of this flag, I'm going to be a little less convinced we continue to the downside. We did have a nice big bottoming candle here. That was the big volume. That was the big bottom. So there's a big possibility that we can retrace from this. However, in the intermediate term, in the immediate term, this particular type of a channel with such a big flagpole, this is called a bear flag. A bear flag comes after a big drop to the downside. A bear flag comes after a big drop to the downside, and it forms a flag, kind of like it's not a parallel channel, but it's a parallelogram, right? Usually it forms with a rising channel exactly like this is, and usually it results in a further downside move. I would actually, now I don't have a trading strategy based around this, but I'm prepared for it to possibly happen. So a measured move of this to the downside, let's say we break up here and touch the top of this channel, will put us down at 8,800. So if this bear flag breaks to the downside, a measured move would take this down to about 8,800. Okay? So should you be scared? I don't know. I don't know what your position is right now. I don't know what your risk tolerance is. All I know is that Bitcoin today has proven the fact it can sell off at a moment's notice. Okay, there's if we had a lot of strength down here buying this up in gusto, we would already be back up here, back towards 10,750. And we're not really seeing that. We're actually seeing everyone just, like I mentioned in my psychology video, this is a hope market, and hope doesn't create V bottoms like that. Hope just kind of creates people sitting on the sidelines. So let's get to the chat here. Should I worry or not? I hope I try to answer that question. Gave you some possible scenarios. If you're in a big loss, then go ahead and figure out when you're going to get out. There has to be a level which you're going to sell. Now keep in mind you can always get back in. Keep in mind you can always get back in. Last time I was so upset that I missed the 5,900. Seems there'll be another buy opportunity soon. Beautiful curve, cup and handle, fib curve thing by the dip. This the biggest sell volume ever? No, it's not the biggest sell volume ever. You can actually back out on the 6-hour chart, on the GDAX. Oh, sell volume. It's quite a large sell volume. Don't get it twisted. That's quite a lot of sell volume there. It's really only back over here. Some of this was actually buying action. So that was quite a bit of selling. That was quite a bit of selling. A lot of this candle was buying, as you can see by the big wick there. Same here. A lot of this was buying. So this may be up there in terms of sell volume now that you mentioned that. I haven't thought of it in those terms, but it definitely could be up there. Definitely could be up there. Okay, curve sell volume. Do you ever use Elliott Wave? No, I do not use Elliott Wave. I'm going to go off on an anti-Elliott Wave tyrant right now. Just for a minute. Give me a couple of minutes. Elliott Wave is so subjective, and you spend so much time trying to make the market fit your 3 or 5 wave thing that sometimes I think that you overlook other market alternatives and general price action. Now, I believe every strategy has some validity, but Elliott Waves, you have to be extremely good with your technical analysis to use Elliott Waves effectively. And there's such a huge learning curve to Elliott Waves. I don't know anyone that uses them successfully. Even the guys on YouTube like HiGen and Phil Cohn, if I'm saying that correctly, even those guys, I don't know how successful. They literally are trading that strategy. But it seems like they spend so much time analyzing the most recent history. It's like 80% here and 20% here. And while that is general for most technical analysis, if you're looking for a specific level to hit with an Elliott Wave, I haven't seen the analysts work that out really well. And so, I'm not going to spend my time trying to make Elliott Wave fit when price and everything in the markets is based, at least in technical analysis, everything is based off of price and volume. So I just study price and volume. Why worry about all the other stuff? Now, RSI does have a little bit of validity. I think even a little bit of Fibonacci in there. But past that, there's a lot more conjecture and trying to make that indicator work than just by analyzing the price and the volume. Okay. I'm late. What did I miss? I'm wondering, what do you think of the Asian markets will do based on this drop? I don't know, Ian. I don't know what the Asian markets will do. I don't know that. I know we have some support here, but I know it looks really weak. I miss a bunch of comments. Okay, missed the dip. Use Elliott Waves. That's where I left off. Should I worry or not? Will it rise again? That's so tough, ladies and gentlemen, to answer those questions. I want to give you some solace. If I knew the future, I would tell you, but I don't. The market's not in a good place right now. It's not in a good place. We still have the overall bear market. It's still here. We never quite left it. We never quite left the bear market. If we can get over this 11,775 hump, I think we're out of the bear market. But until then, we're not. So I think you should always have a little bit of trepidation in the markets. and you should have sell strategies to negate those factors. Real Crypto, when are you planning to open the Real chat room? Yeah, the Real chat room. I was going to do it this month. Maybe I'll do it in a week or so. I want to get a couple of these courses done for everyone. I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to be in the Real chat room, so I want to get these trading courses done before I become, before I kind of just live in a chat room with subscribers. Okay, no one knows rise or fall. Used to worry about my ex. Geez, that was a mistake. I'm so over it. Yeah, was a Binance hack. Volume is dire. Forget lambs. We're getting bicycles instead of Lambos, Jeremiah. Could be getting some bicycles. There's some nice bikes out there, guys. There's some really nice bikes out there. Okay, Mt. Gox whale selling huge numbers. Yeah, you know what? That Mt. Gox thing, I think they've been selling that. So maybe that was some of this selling. I read that article and I tried to put that in perspective to the markets. And when you think about that Mt. Gox selling, for those of you that don't know, Mt. Gox was an exchange years ago that went belly up, and there was some corruption. I think they lost like 300,000 bitcoins. Well, they found 200,000 of them, and they said they recently sold them. I wonder if this was Mt. Gox selling. I wonder, because there was an article posted a while back about 400 million Bitcoin being bought down here in this area, and we thought that was a whale. And then I thought that whale was selling up here, taking a profit. Maybe it was the whale, maybe it was Mt. Gox, maybe it was a combination of the two. But anyway, they sold somewhere up here. Those Mt. Gox trustees really sold somewhere up here. Okay, 30 million users incoming from outside the crypto world. Real Crypto, is there a definite value of the lowest point it will drop? No, there's never like a definite low. A good gauge, if you want to see how far something can go, that's kind of a good gauge by moving averages. That's something, if you want to gauge how far something can drop, you can try to use a fib. You can throw a fib on there like that, but I found sometimes moving averages to be a little more beneficial in terms of how far it can drop. But sometimes those are only done in very extreme market sell-offs. So as we can see here, I actually watched a video that explained it really well, and it's something I may try to put into my analysis in the future. This gentleman mentioned that he likes to price things off of the 200-day moving average, or 200-period moving average. This is a 6-hour. So if we go to the day, chart here, he prices it off of the 200 moving average. He said that things get really exhausted around 4 times the 200-day moving average. So in a sense, yes, you can try to time things off of that. You could say, in this particular period, like let's go to the 2-hour. You could say in the 2-hour, things get really exhausted X% above the 200-period moving average here. So there's going to be a range, but it's only at extreme highs and extreme lows. If you're looking for kind of intermediate term levels, like this is kind of an intermediate term sell-off to me. If it is to get to an extreme level, it would take a lot more time. So it depends your time frame with that question. But as far as how far can something go, farther than you think. But if you want to do some analysis, you can do it off of moving averages, a Fibonacci ratio, but time is also a component. Okay, let's take a look here. Binance getting hacked, Mt. Gox, all that stuff. Whales are pumping and dumping Bitcoin. They're hunting stops, buying and pumping it and selling it. So that's what MJ Energy is saying that. Whales make and break this market, ladies and gentlemen. They make and break this market. So you can't FUD yourself by thinking this and that and the other thing. Okay, you can't FUD yourself by thinking, oh, whales are manipulating the market. They always manipulate the market. People are always trying to push markets to their own advantage. But if you pay attention to the charts and trade the charts, then you don't have to worry about who's pumping it or why they're pumping it. You can just trade the charts. So Danny's really wants me to read his comments. Binance being hacked and Mt. Gox being hacked are two events that simply cannot be compared. Mt. Gox was virtually the only exchange, and there are 10 higher volume exchanges today. That is correct. I'm not comparing this to Mt. Gox. I don't know who is. I'm not comparing this to Mt. Gox. So I'm not quite, yeah, I'm not quite understanding, but your macro analysis needs work. This was a freak event, and I think it's highly likely we're going back to the previous lows, 6K. How does that differ with my analysis? I'm not sure how that differs from my analysis. If you watched my last video, I actually said I try to show a case. Now notice I say case. I don't say it's a guaranteed possibility for Bitcoin 2600. Okay, so my macro analysis, if you don't agree, that's fine. If you have an alternative, that's fine too. Please post it. I'll be happy to review that and take that into consideration, and maybe I'll change my viewpoint. But so far, I've had a lot of people try to say this and that, but they don't bring out a lot of, you said we're not going back to 6K. You think we're going up. Okay. Okay. That's very valid. You know, if you think you're going up, that's fine. All right, Dan, you know what? I would like to go over your thing in depth, maybe a little bit later when we don't have 300 people here with their own little interest. I'm not going to focus on you, to be quite frank with you. I will be happy to review your trades and your scenarios and stuff. So, I get it, Danny. I'm not taking you as hostile, buddy. I understand that text leaves a lot to be desired. I'm very sarcastic by nature, believe it or not. I'm pretty even keel in my videos, but I have a very dark, bland, sarcastic sense of humor, so I really try not to take people at face value. How's Twitter stock? Twitter stock is fantastic, Amrit. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Oh, Twitter stock. Love Twitter stock. Love Twitter stock. If you guys don't know already, I'm actually doing a stock Twitter channel, Real-Stocks. There should be a description. Is it in the? It's not. It's not down there. I should put that down there. In my other videos, I have. Let me get that. I'm going to put that in the description. So my Real-Stocks channel is going to be based on stocks. I've got real cryptos. Figure I'd try real stocks, and we'll see what's what. So John asked a question: fundamental analysis versus technical analysis. Which do you think is more reliable? Well, John, let me answer that in a number of phases, to be quite frank with you, because that's a long story. In cryptocurrencies, there is very little fundamental analysis. There's very little fundamental analysis in cryptocurrency, okay? You can have opinions. You can have opinions based off of how good you think a coin is fundamentally, technically. Cryptocurrencies are so new and there's so few projects that actually have anything viable that it's hard to run any kind of fundamental analysis, let alone let alone price action based off of that analysis. When you think about it, the only projects that are really viable are Ethereum, Bitcoin, but you can apply user adoption maybe to Bitcoin, but that would be really some of the only fundamental analysis. Ripple, but even that's blown way out of proportion, to be quite frank with you, and we can talk about that. And then maybe Stellar, maybe Neo, right? Some networks that are actually having user adoption. So your fundamental analysis there would be total dApps being used, or total dApp growth, or total user base growth, or total wallet growth, or total node growth. You need to find some growth of some kind. That would be your fundamental analysis. But there's not a lot of that out there. There's not a lot of data out there for that. If anyone wants to help me write that, if someone wants to help me figure that out, I would love to do that, to be quite frank with you. Technical analysis is always valid. Not always right, but it's always valid. In the stock market, you are best to use excellent fundamental analysis with excellent technical analysis to achieve excellent results. You need both. So there's been a lot of comments since that question. Let me go back here. Twitter stock's doing fantastic. Market cap by April. Don't know, don't care. Broke the trend line on log chart. Do I have Twitter stock? Didn't think they were making any money. Eve, if I remember your name. Correctly. You know what? That's 2 questions on Twitter stock. Let's talk Twitter stock. Let me pose my case for Twitter. Give me 1.5 minutes. Okay, here's Twitter stock. Twitter does not know how to make money. That's been the case this entire time, okay? So from a fundamental perspective, it's getting better. From a technical perspective, and this is what I said earlier, combining fundamentals with technicals will create exceptional results, okay? And this is why you want to follow my Real Stocks channel. Twitter's been a garbage stock. A garbage stock. It IPO'd here at 44, went up to 75, and quickly sold off to a low of 13. Most recently, look at the green volume, look at the curving up in the stock price. They're starting to get profitable. They're starting to get profitable, and they're starting to do things correctly. When this starts, you really want to be involved. This, like if you bought, like a really good buy would be right here at this $20 range. If you look at this kind of price resistance line right here. See if I can zoom in for you guys. I don't want to take up too much time because you guys probably don't like stocks. Come on, stupid mouse. Okay, there we go. So something like that. So this is your line where things really start to get bullish. You have earnings happening here, big breakout to the upside, and notice a change in behavior. Lots of green to the right of this candle off the break of this 20 level. And also to the left, notice everything's underneath 20, and here now everything's over 20. So this is your technical tipping point, if you will. So yes, Twitter isn't making money, but it's going to very soon. And there's volume being put in here by actual whales, institutional investors. This is institutional investment. This is not you and me buying. Twitter's going to be gargantuan this year. All right, there you go, Eve. Okay, highly recommend you incorporate Tom DeMark indicator into your analysis. Johnny B, how have learned so much in 4 months. Pity I have no capital left to do anything about it. You know what, Johnny? Start saving a second stake. The best thing you can do, Johnny, is when the market gets good again, okay, and that may happen if we get over 11,750. That may happen if we get around 3,000. I don't know. Trade with a very small amount of your capital, okay? Trade with a very small amount of your capital, and I talk about that a lot in these trading courses that I'm developing. My trading courses, ladies and gentlemen, are not just about how to read this chart. Okay, they're not just about how to read a chart. They're about how to approach trading as a whole. Okay, trading is a profession like anything. You can try to WebMD yourself into a doctor all day long, but unless you understand all the nuances of medicine, you're not going to be a good doctor. Same with trading. If you don't understand all the nuances to trading, then you're not going to be a good trader just by knowing technical analysis. So, okay, general sentiment of exhaustion could indicate we may be resetting soon, just a thought. And that's what these bases do. That's what these bases do. So here's your bullish exuberance, and then this is you resetting. You reset for another run. It happens time and time again, and we will get another run in Bitcoin. If the bearish scenario plays out and we continue lower, look for all that big bottoming volume, and then, you know, maybe we'll continue higher. Can I review LTC and ETH? Yeah, let's take a look at LTC and ETH. Sure. Look at Ethereum here on the. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. Oh, that's bad. Eek. I wasn't looking at anything else but Bitcoin today. I actually shorted Bitcoin on BitMEX, and like I posted a screenshot of it up in my Slack chat room, up like 250% off BitMEX. It was great. Yeah, so this is not good for Ethereum. Big break to the downside. We were stuck in a nice channel here. That has since been negated. This is a big waterfall pattern. I don't buy spike lows, ladies and gentlemen. That is not my style of trading. If you want to feel like you're smart and try to buy spike lows and tell everyone else to buy, don't do that. There's a lot of people whose personality types do not allow them to buy spike lows, okay? They will be very damaged by buying spike lows. I really try to practice safe trading, not super risky trading, and buying a spike low is a risky trade. So, okay. Let me scroll up here. I'm trying to reply to all these chats, ladies and gentlemen. My answers are a lot longer than the chats take to post, so. Okay, Litecoin, and you did ask about Litecoin, didn't you? Litecoin, much in the same. I actually posted a video, or I made a video yesterday that I didn't post. And one thing with Litecoin, you know, Litecoin's interesting. Litecoin's always really interesting. Litecoin has these big crazy bounces. These big crazy bounces. And yeah. Hold on a second. I'm going to post my Real Stocks channel in the description here right now. I kind of got off on a tangent. All right, there we go. It should show up in a little bit. So Litecoin doing pretty good here. Still a big downward trend. It broke this trend line. You see this trend line here, this green one? It broke that to the downside. Big volume right here. This maybe could be a short-term capitulation bar, but a lot of these charts are broken right now. Like this is a broken chart, ladies and gentlemen. In broken charts, the only thing that really helps them is time. Okay, Litecoin and ETH, we do that. Bubble is bursting, fundamentals are nothing. My target is 4,000. What about Tron? It's got potential. Yeah, no. Litecoin, what do you think of Bitcoin private? Don't care. Don't care about FARCs. Real crypto isn't doing TA and trading the chart. Useless in these cases. The circulating supply of Bitcoin is owned 20%. Less than 1K investors own the whole pool. The only way is going long 5+ years. Yeah, you know what? You could be correct. A bus just went by. I've got my window open up. I'm sorry if it's a little loud. Yeah, if your position is 5+ years, I definitely think if you want to buy here and hold for 5 years, I'm not going to be mad at you on that. With the bot hack on Binance, do you worry about bots that you use? I don't use bots, Chris. I don't really use bots. I would like to develop one someday, but I am not doing that. I don't trade with bots. The only APIs that I have hooked up to my accounts are for tax reporting as of right now and Coinigy, but I don't trade off Coinigy. If bubble bursts, it will ruin people. Let's not hope. Yeah, Oliver, nobody wants the bubble to burst. I mean, I don't want the bubble to burst. I'm here to make money. Okay, I don't make money if the bubble bursts. So, can you trade stocks without a broker? How is it different from crypto in terms of accessibility? You do need a broker to trade stocks. You also need a broker to trade cryptos. You use these exchanges, okay? You can sign up directly with the exchange with stocks, E-Trade, Ameritrade. All those are exchanges. They're not brokers. They're called brokers, but they're exchanges. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. I apologize. I'm wrong. They are brokers. They're online brokers that trade with exchanges. You can trade directly with the exchange, but it's going to cost you millions of dollars. They literally sell what they call seats on their exchange, and those seats cost a lot of money. Okay, Danny says, whoever says TA is useless, you couldn't be more wrong. TA incorporates all fundamental analysis into it. You can see the news rumors in the candles. Danny, you're very correct on that. I never word it quite that way. I may in the future. But the technical analysis does incorporate the fundamental analysis. You are correct. Do you think a downturn in the stock market could shift more institutional money into the crypto space? No, I do not. One thing about institutions that a lot of people get wrong, and I really have never mentioned this too much, is that the institutions cannot invest in cryptocurrencies. You can have individual big traders invest in cryptocurrencies, but by charter, a lot of hedge funds, or not hedge funds, but a lot of the institutions in the stock market are mutual funds, and they cannot by charter invest in anything other than what is in their public prospectus. Okay, so that's kind of a longer conversation there, but Merrill Lynch, Mass Mutual, they run a lot of mutual funds, Janus funds. They can't willy-nilly dump, $1 billion into cryptocurrencies. They're going to have to start a new fund, raise new money, and then state that they will be investing in cryptocurrencies. And that hasn't quite started yet. Maybe in one day it will. Maybe one day it will, but not today. It's too much inherent risk for them. Their job is to keep people's money safe, or at least they like to sell it like that. All right, reading some comments here. Bitcoin private, don't care. I can't envision cryptocurrency disappearing for the future. I can't either, Jay. No one's really saying cryptocurrency is going to disappear. No one's saying that. But price goes up and down. Price goes up and down and up and down. And if you think price is going to 5,000, you're not going to be involved in the market at 9,900, are you? So it doesn't mean it's going to nothing. It strictly means, like if someone says we're going down, it doesn't mean it's going to zero, guys. All right, just Andre says, please don't focus only on negative scenario. We could have an immediate rebound soon. This so-called hack is not critical. Very true. Just Andre has a very true point there. We could rebound. We quite possibly could rebound. We have not yet. We have not yet. That's all I got to say about that. We haven't rebounded. So far this chart, earlier I took a look at the lower term time frame and I drew for you guys in real time this channel here. This is what's called a bear flag. If this bear flag gets negated to the upside, then this little bearish flag scenario is done playing out. Okay, if we get a nice breakout to the upside, it's done playing out, and then you could possibly anticipate us going higher. Okay, but we're still in this bear flag. To me, this means lower. So, but yeah, definitely could pop back up. But so far, the buyers haven't shown up. All right, 2 weeks of bull case can erase months of bear. Always remember that, guys. Markets are emotional. Very true, Dylan. And the inverse is also true. Typically markets sell off faster than they run up. I say that typically. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. What do I think about gold and silver? I think they're viable assets to invest and trade in. I don't typically trade in gold and silver, although I will say that recently the gold charts have been putting in kind of a bottoming pattern. I don't think they've broken out yet. I don't generally follow gold. Let's take a look at gold. You mentioned gold. I did a little thing on Twitter. Let's do a little thing on the GLD. And we'll pull monthly on the GLD. He mentions gold. Bear with me for a minute here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the kind of like flattening out pattern. So kind of like in Twitter when I showed that $20 level, here's kind of that same level here at the 130 or 1300 level for gold. If you notice, I have this trend line here. I was looking at it. Looks like earlier last year. We are tightening up here. We are tightening up in gold, indicating that buyers and sellers are starting to come to an agreement. Sellers are kind of running out of juice. So maybe we'll see a breakout at some point in time in gold. All right, 2 weeks of bull can erase. Very interesting at Twitter. Thanks, might have to look into that. Litecoin, please. We already looked at Litecoin. That chart pattern is broken. Needs a lot of time to recover in my mind. I don't buy dips like that, so that's not part of my trading strategy. Recommendations about Nano. I do not necessarily have recommendations on Nano. I haven't looked at it in a little bit. Let's take a look at Nano. All right, so we're on the 15. Let's go out to the 2 hour. Okay, so Nano against Bitcoin kind of popped up, rolled over here. Got a little bit of support here. It's 200 period moving average. This is looking a little more bearish than most off of this bounce, to be quite frank with you. You know, a nice, the sell-off wasn't super heavy, so that's good. You don't want super heavy sell-offs. Getting a little bit of a bounce here. It's a little high extended. You really would have wanted to buy really close down here. But, man, there's a lot of whipsawing that happened. Let's take a look here. Right here at this 200 period moving average, we sold off and we ripped all the way to the upside and came all the way back down. That definitely shows there's some distribution still left in Nano up here. Oh, I'm looking at BNB. Why am I looking at BNB? Sorry, I was looking at BNB. Okay, still hovering around. Yeah, that's still the same pattern. Same type of a pattern. The 200 period moving average was broken, though. Broken here, came all the way back up and all the way back down. So, it's still in it hasn't changed trend. The trend is down. It hasn't broken that trend. That's pretty much all I can say there. Bitcoin private, don't care. I don't really want to play with those like small new Bitcoin private weird forks. Even Bitcoin gold, I haven't really messed with that. If you do go to zero, still hodl? If you go to zero, do you still want to hodl? I don't want to hodl down to zero. Not me. The hack has been planned for a long time. I've seen these websites for a long time, and they was collecting people's APIs for a long time. But personally, I see this as a dip, and I'm going to buy some more BTC. Good for you, crypto. There you go, buddy. If that's your plan, perfect. As long as you guys have a plan, I'm happy with it. Team Hodl says, why would you sell at zero, Aid? You know what, Aid? If you want to, if you're gonna sell at 0, I'll tell you what. I will buy them from you at 1. How's that? I'll buy them from you at 1, just to help you out a little bit. Even if it's at 0, even if it's at 0, I'll buy it from you at 1. How's that? I'll take that risk reward scenario. Prices increasing, but we are not rebounding. The buy volume is totally pathetic, particularly considering the current bargain price. Very, very good analysis there. So people are always, hey, we broke to the upside of that channel. Look at that. Broke to the upside of the channel. And I'm not long anywhere. Oh, we haven't broken to the upside in no, BitMEX is frozen. Is it frozen? GDAX says it's broken the channel. GDAX says it's broken the channel. I'm not sure what the other people are doing. But yeah, the volume is not super good right here. It's like 2 minutes left on this 15-minute bar. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But we're broken above the channel. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for bulls right there. That's very good. What coin do I think might do the best in the upcoming months? You know what, Informed? That's such a hard question. Nobody knows the answer to that. Anyone that gives you an answer is just guessing so they can sound smart. And people go, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Man, I don't know. I have no idea. In the upcoming months, think in mind what's happened in the last couple months. In the last 3 months, we had Bitcoin top at 20,000. We came down to 6,000. Now we went to 12,000. Now we're back down to 9,600. Who would have predicted that? Ooh, Cool Frost asks a very interesting question. Do you know why Bitcoin went to 20,000 in such short time last year? Was it because of popularity and new people coming in? It most definitely was. That run to 20,000 was a most definite case of a parabolic run, where pretty much all the buyers that want to buy Bitcoin came in and bought Bitcoin. They all did. All of them. And those big parabolic runs culminate in a bear market after the fact, because when everyone has already bought, there's no one left to buy. Does that make sense? So the price has to decrease. So the reason it went up is because everyone that was anticipating, I think I'm shorting Bitcoin right here. Come on. Let me see. Maybe, maybe not. Haven't done it yet. Hold on, I'm looking at my other screen. I'm looking at some, I haven't shorted it yet. Just thinking about it. Anyway, when everyone runs into a market like that, that's what causes those huge parabolic runs. That's exactly what causes those huge parabolic runs, is everyone running in. And when everyone runs in, that's when those big, huge percentage gains occur. Oops, that's the 15. Let's go to the 2 hour. Still thinking I may want to short this up here. Still thinking about it. I wonder if this is like a 50% retracement of the move or something. It looks about right. Sorry guys, contemplating a trade while I'm going live here. I guess I could do it and do a really small stop loss. What I'm doing right now is contemplating what's called a counter trend trade, where the trend looks really bullish and I want to go really bearish. It's very advanced trading, extraordinarily risky, and you should not do it unless you do it with an extraordinarily small portion of your account, or really know what the hell you're doing. And I do it with both. I do it with an extremely small portion of my account. Anyway, so these 20,000 runs, these culminate with everyone buying, and then when all the buyers have bought, there's no one left to buy more, and then it just craters. Then it just craters. So that's why that happened. All right, I'm gonna skip to the bottom here. Sorry if you guys asked some questions up there. Ooh, 10,000. Maybe I do want to sell. I'm selling. All right, I just shorted Bitcoin. Okay. Let's see here. Our alts already took a major hit this past week. Now, if Bitcoin pulls back up, will alts go down even more? Some of them are passing 50% loss. So altcoins, you know, pretty much altcoins only move when Bitcoin is stable. Okay? They pretty much only move when Bitcoin is stable. They don't tend to move when Bitcoin is doing one thing or the other. So yeah, there you go. It's one of those things. Now, if you look at the coin market cap, if we take a look here, I made a little video earlier. Hold on, I'm going to place a stop loss on this particular trade because it is very risky. Place a stop loss. Yeah, maybe I'll get stopped out on this right now. We'll see. Like I said, very small portion of my accounts. Okay. All right, stop loss is placed. Okay. Yeah, so market cap was under 400 billion for a little while there. Was under 400 billion. So Bitcoin is down 6.65%. Most of the altcoins are down more. Most of them are down more. Ooh, Waves has popped up a little bit there. And there was one other one that was positive. I don't know if it still is. But Nexus was up 5% last I looked. Big winner on the day is Nexus. So the altcoins really only flourish, I mean, is the whole altcoin system when Bitcoin is stable. When Bitcoin is stable. So I don't know exactly what the alts are going to do there. Jerome went long BTC from 94.50 with 50 times leverage. Happy days. Good job. Good job. You still have that position? I hope so. I hope you still have it, even though I shorted it. Good job, Joan. All right, just reading some comments here. Don't forget to like, everyone. Thank you, Informed. Please like the video. Please like the video if you like the video. If you don't, why are you watching? You all should hit the like button because you're still watching. Okay, arbitrage system picked up the Binance APO hack, made like 40% in 10 minutes. Good for you, Shazer. Litecoin's going up. Buy some more BTC. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, I may get stopped out of this trade. I'm prepared for that. What about Subcoin? Can you see any upward movement there? Finally, Sub. Are you Vlad? Are you Vlad? I got a guy in Vlad that has a ton of sub. Ooh, that's brutal. Oh, come on, Jerome. Don't go short with me. Like, literally. Like I told you, I'm probably going to get stopped out on this trade. But, you know, trading is about risk versus reward. And, you know, just the price action up here looks a little toppy to me. So, you know, I took a position. And, like I said, I'm probably going to get stopped out on it. So, yeah, so the problem with Sub here is that, I mean, it's just down so far. Sub is down so far. I would not be interested in this at all. There's no bottoming action. You see these big jaunts to the upside here, these big pops to the upside. They've all been sold off. So all been sold off. No, there's no inkling of a long inside, at least from my perspective. I don't trade based off of any signal close to anything like that. How do you short Bitcoin in a few words? Well, you have to be on the correct exchange that allows shorting, and what you do is you hit a button that says sell, and it lets you sell even though you don't own it, and then you profit if the price goes down. Okay. What tax solution do you use that connects via API keys? So I actually just started using a system, and I was going to post a video on how to do it. I'm not done with it yet. Where is it? Yeah, it's called, let me see here. Oh, it looks like my stop's about to be triggered. Oh no, it still hasn't been triggered yet. You know what? I've got, look for that video. I'm going to put it out in a day or so once I figure out all the kinks, but I think it's called Bitcoin tax or something like that. Okay. What is my opinion about USDT bumping the Bitcoin prices? You know, Otto, I haven't really seen, I've heard what everyone's saying about that. I can't say it's true though. I can't say it's true. If people want to buy Tether, it's not necessarily to buy Bitcoin. I mean, it's hypothetically correct, right? So you go ahead and you print these tethers and you buy Bitcoin, but I don't know. I'm not sure. D Tachera, you should still be in the chat. I haven't banned anybody. I haven't banned anyone from this chat, so I'm not sure why you can't see yourself if you were posting something. Oh, looks like I'm about to be stopped out right now. $1 away. I'm at 10,050 is my stop loss. And I got stopped out. Oh, well, there you go. Hey, boss, this is the right shoulder of the Head and Shoulders from January 15th. Why would you short it? It's going up to 13,000. All right, there you go. Wow. All right, sorry guys, looking at the charts. And yeah, it looks like Coinbase broke out GDAX 2, is it only a 15-minute? Yeah, so GDAX broke out of my channel here quite nicely. And now BitMEX is about to break out of it. Yeah, it looks like we're going higher, so that's good. So that's good. Can you go back to the 2013 bear market and analyze the bottom of the 2013 bear market? Let me do that right now. I don't know if anyone would really be interested in that. Books for crypto informed. I don't know of any books for crypto. I don't know of any books for crypto. In the value area, the bars are broken down to two numbers for sales and buys, like 257. How is it different to comprehend it? I don't know what you're referring to here in terms of the value areas. The bars are broken down into two numbers. So someone asked me to please explain shorting. Shorting is where literally what shorting is if you don't own any Bitcoin, you borrow Bitcoin from an exchange or from another individual. You borrow the Bitcoin. It's like, if you have Bitcoin, you send it to me, and you send me Bitcoin, I'm going to just sell it and collect the money, okay? Because I'm literally borrowing Bitcoin from you, okay? So let's say I borrowed Bitcoin from you up here, and I sold it at 10,600. I can then buy it back on the market for 9,600. I'll keep that difference of $1,000, and I will give you back your Bitcoin. That is shorting in a nutshell. That is shorting in a nutshell. Can massive sell volume qualify or contribute to a capitulation point? Yes, all volume contributes to capitulation, buying or selling. Buying or selling, because anything sold has to be bought by someone. So yes, high volume in any manner could be capitulation, buying or selling. Hey, we're getting up towards the top of my channel here. Half tempted to take my short again. Okay, name of the chart pattern book you recommend, please. Actually, if you go to my what is it? The Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Bulkowski. If you go to my website, Real-Crypto, go to Resources and Books and click on the picture of the book. That will take you to an affiliate link for Amazon if you want to make me 50 cents by buying that book. But I do have several books in there, that talk about, well, basically investing as a whole, mainly stock market books. There's not too many on cryptos, and the stock books do bode well for cryptos. So okay. Also in the trading view, when you point to the volume bar on the top, you see two numbers in green and red. These numbers, OHLC numbers, or these two numbers next to volume? So these OHLC numbers refer to the type of bar, the open of the bar, the high of the bar, the low of the bar, and the close of the bar. These volume numbers indicate the volume down here. The one on the left is the current volume. The one on the right is the average volume for whatever line you have this set to. So I think you're referring to these. Those refer to this volume, and that refers to this volume. So if I hover over this green bar, the average is 1,000. The current volume is 683. 490 and 1K. If you notice, the average volume doesn't change nearly as much as the current volume does. Yeah, so I think you just so I think I answered your question. It is volume. The fake Binance news dip starts in a 13K run. Okay. Can you do a TF BTC weekly chart? Yeah, sure. I kind of want to short Bitcoin here again. At the top of my channel on my other chart here. And I know I just exited my short, but wow, the GDAX is $100 over. So something is out of whack in the markets here. And it could be GDAX. Let me check my GDAX price on my other screen here. Yeah, 10,123 is right on point. Interesting. Okay, let's check out the weekly chart. He asked for a weekly chart analysis. Looks good. Weekly chart analysis. Weekly chart analysis. Let's see here. Kind of the same as the daily chart analysis. There's not a huge difference. I think weekly in cryptos are not as valuable as people make them out to be, just due to the short-term nature of cryptos, to be quite frank with you. I think the daily should be your akin to the weekly, to be honest. I think your 6 hours should be your daily, and I think your daily should be your weekly, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. But yeah, so as far as weekly, you have... yeah, there's no 200 on the weekly. We have support at the 50-week period average. We have the 10-period rolling over, culminating in this. And yeah, it still looks like the same market in the daily. Just looks, you know, slightly bearish here. It looks slightly bearish here. Yeah, sorry, I can't do much more for you than that. There's so few bars here. You really can't get a key sense of what's happening with the amount of bars here, to be quite frank with you. That's why I think you got to do it on the daily. Okay. Do I think general sentiment has more impact over the price than advanced TNA? Well, kind of what a gentleman said earlier, TNA pretty much encompasses all things. Okay, it encompasses all things. It encompasses sentiment. It encompasses the fundamentals. It encompasses everything. Yeah, I didn't short Johnny. Johnny says, come on, Randy, stop shorting. It's too risky to trade right now. Yeah, I didn't short it. I didn't short it. I did such a good short earlier today that I think I'm kind of biased trading on that one, to be quite honest with you. But I mean, at the same point, it's a pretty bearish market right now in terms of like this most recent price action. Let's go back down to the 2-hour chart. I mean, it's pretty bearish. We've come all the way back down here in such a short period of time. Such a short period of time that yeah, we're definitely due a big bounce. And that could be capitulation volume. It could be possible. What are my thoughts on Robinhood? I actually like Robinhood. I think Robinhood is good. I am on the list. I don't know where I am on the list, but I'm on the list. I'm on the list. So we'll see what happens when they come out. Pretty good company. They don't believe in like scamming people for their money in terms of trading. They believe in, you know, letting people have their money and just letting them invest. Robinhood, the app in general. I don't use Robinhood, the app. I actually do all of my stock trading in my Roth IRA, and Robinhood does not support IRAs, so I can't do it there. Oh, there's no X and Y axis labels. Yeah, then you know what? You have to do your charting on a computer, and then trade from your phone. But they are coming out with a web app too. They are coming out with a web app as well. Yeah. Oh, line charts. They don't do. Yeah, they do line charts like this. They do line charts like that. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Is it gonna rain? Why do I smell rain? I smell rain. Have my window open. I smell rain. Ooh, Asia wakes up in 2 hours. Best leave your shorts until then. Yep, could be. Could be. Any mobile app I recommend for trading? No, I don't. I do not have a mobile app I recommend for trading. I actually don't trade mobile. I'm pretty much in my house most of the time. And I really haven't had to do that yet. I'm sure at some point I will have to get a good mobile app, but so far the ones that I've seen have all not been very good. They've not been very good. If anybody's a web developer wants me to help develop a good trading app with them, let's do it. But I haven't seen it yet. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get going here. I'm going to do some of more of my trading courses and do some other stuff. So it's been an hour. It's supposed to be 30 minutes. My 30-minute sessions typically run an hour. So there you go. There you go. Any last-minute questions before I bow out of here, ladies and gentlemen? A couple questions just came in. Is now a good time to get into BitConnect? If you want to get into BitConnect, do yourself a favor. Just mail me a check for the amount you're going to get involved in BitConnect, because the money will be better used to paying off my mortgage. What's up with the Elliott wave? Well, the Elliott wave is very subjective, difficult to do correctly, and generally not a huge fan of Elliott wave. You're welcome, Eve. Hey, you're a web developer? Well, go ahead and shoot me a private message in YouTube here, buddy, and and if you want to do something, maybe we can do that. EOS thoughts. Look at EOS real quick. Ew. EOS has one of those patterns that I don't get involved with, just pointing straight downward. I do not get involved with those. This particular coin, yeah. You know what? If you're still in down here from like somewhere else up here, I have a hard time telling you guys to get out. Anytime you're near a big base like this, there's a possibility you just go sideways for a while, but this has a very downward trajectory. EOS has been one of the worst performing coins in history, to be quite frank with you. And yeah, like it had this base and then just continued like much lower for a long period of time. This has a history of just really annoying and wearing out investors based off of its ICO status here, so not happy. Can I recommend where to learn price action and volume trading? Well, actually, my trading courses, whenever I actually get them done, darn it, I should have shorted. All right, guys. What do I use for my Roth IRA? Nothing fancy. I actually use, well, later this year I'll be using E-Trade because they were sold to E-Trade. Whoever I'm trading with was sold to E-Trade. So I'll be using E-Trade here very shortly. But right now I'm using Capital One. Used to be Share Builder. So ICX real quick. I would spend way too long on these exit questions. I know people want to get their questions in. I get it. I get it. So I did ICX yesterday, I think, as well. It's down here really low. If you want to hodl ICX, be prepared to hodl for a long time, but you could suffer major downdrafts. Guys, these big down patterns like this is why hodling is so hard. If you're a trader, you have to have a maximum stop loss percentage. Period. Period. Maximum, like if I'm down 8%, I'm done. You have to have that. You have to have that involved with your trading. You have to have that. Otherwise, you run the risk of, being down umpteen or dozen percent and then, forcing yourself into hodling. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for the last minute questions, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.